In my hand here, I do have a pump, and no, it is not for the tires. It's gonna be for these IsoDynamic seats here that you're only gonna find in the Tacoma TRD Pro. You will not find those on any other model in the TRD Pro. You won't find it in the Tundra, and you won't find it on the 4Runner. I'm gonna explain those IsoDynamic seats, what they do, and how you operate those seats to keep you less fatigued whenever you're off-roading. So if you look at the IsoDynamic seats, you'll notice two valves here. One is for your vertical impact and one is for your side to side. So I'm gonna show you a few things here, including what these little valves right here are for. So let's get started. So guys, these are just valve caps here. So I'm gonna remove those off and show you how it works. So as you turn counterclockwise here, it's gonna take those valve caps off. Okay, so there's your valve right there. And basically, as I said, this is for your vertical impact and this is for your horizontal impact. So as you basically power on this pump here, so it does have a digital gauge here. You want to hit this button here till you see PSI, okay, pounds per square inch. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to attach this end right here. You're going to attach this end right here to that valve. So it's nice and snug. There we go. So if I turn it over and hit this little button here, that's going to start to release air and you'll hear it seep out. So you hear the air starting to seep out, guys? So that's going to take that gauge from where it was before all the way down to 0. Now you notice a couple of settings here on this right here. Now, if you look on the left-hand side here in the red, this is really your lower, so this is sort of the minimum right here. So there's not going to be any effect to your vertical stability. Now, as you go up, this is basically going to make it a little bit firmer as you go up, and it's going to help with, like I said, fatigue and things like that. Now, on the far right-hand side here, you can go to max right here, but you don't want to go any further than that because it's going to get really firm, and it's really not going to have much of any effect or anything like that. But in between these numbers, in between the 80 and the 160 pounds per square inch, that's going to give you your most comfort. It's going to help you, like I said, with your vertical stability. Whenever you're going up and down a hill or something like that, or you're going over rocks and stuff like that, that's going to minimize that vertical sort of bouncing and stuff like that. And as I said before, it's going to help you with fatigue. Now, if you look on the right-hand side here, a little bit different gauge here. This is going to help you with your left and right. So as you're going over uneven terrain, which is going to be your roll, this right here is going to minimize the shifting to the left and right and stabilize that seat more so. As you can see right here, it has a gauge from 0 to 60. So on your higher levels here, it's going to get a little bit firmer. And as I said before, with your vertical stability, your dynamic sort of this gray sort of range right here, it's going to be more of a stiff, so you're really not going to get any comfort out of that. So you typically want that between 10 and 60, just whatever feels best for you whenever you're, like I said, whenever you're off-roading. So that's kind of where you want it. Let's say I want to increase the pounds per square inch in the IsoDynamic seat. So the first thing I'm going to do, my pump is attached, it's secure, so I'm going to basically pump that up. And also you'll notice on this dial right here, it will show you a digital gauge of where that air pressure is as I continue to pump up. I'm going to keep pumping up that seat to basically make those seats a little bit more firm. So therefore, anytime I'm going, like I said, going up a hill or something like that, up and over a hill, gives me a little bit less fatigue. So therefore, I'm not just absolutely just dazed once I come off this drive here. That's the last thing you want, guys, when you're shaking up and down. That's what these seats are going to provide. I want it to be at about 126, me personally. You can put it at whatever pounds per square inch you want, but as you go up, guys, that's going to make those seats a little bit firmer. So I'm going to keep pumping here. 100 pounds per square inch. Okay, gotcha. So I'm at 124, 123. All right, so I'm at about 128. That's okay, 127, so it's gonna stabilize. So I'm at about 127 pounds per square inch, guys. So if you look at this gauge right here, so you can see on that gauge right there, it is at 127 pounds per square inch. That's kind of where I want it at. So I'm gonna keep it at that range right there. So at this point, I'm gonna detach the hose here. So I'm gonna roll this right here counterclockwise to remove it. As I said before, the closer I move to the dynamic side, basically it makes that seat more and more firm. It's the same thing with your horizontal sort of movement in that seat. It basically makes it a little bit more firmer as you go up and makes it a little bit softer as you go down. But as you get to that dynamic side, it's really, guys, it's gonna be really firm and it's really not gonna benefit you much. once you go to that dynamic side. This is a Baja style vehicle and is basically meant for higher speeds, like when you're off-roading, guys. So that's what those seats are for. But I want to show you a very important thing to make sure that those seats are engaged, guys, because there is a valve where you can disengage and engage those IsoDynamic seats. As you look down below here, you have 2 gauges here, right? So you have, it looks like an off-road gauge here, and you have a road gauge, okay? So as you basically swing it to the right here, which is going to be for your road gauge, I'm not sure if you guys can see that right there. So that's a road gauge. It looks like a road there, okay? On the right, on the left-hand side here, it's going to look more like an off-road. So if you swing that to the left here, that's going to activate. It's going to activate your vertical stability, okay? Now, if you don't want if you don't want to worry about the horizontal roll, then just leave it in the street setting, and that's going to be like a firm, guys. You're not going to feel any effect. But as you basically engage it here, swing it to the left, that's going to engage that horizontal shift to make sure that you're basically, that is firm and is keeping you from shifting from left to right as harshly, I guess you can say. It basically just provides more stability is what it's doing, okay? And you have the same thing on the passenger seat. They have the same option where they can increase that or not. But if you don't have anybody in the passenger seat, then hey, of course you don't have to worry about it. So guys, that is your IsoDynamic seats, only found in your Tacoma TRD Pro. I hope you found the tips helpful, guys. Please subscribe and smash that notification button so the next time I drop the next Toyota tip, you stay informed. Find me right here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and my latest account at Blue Skies at Andre Drives, guys. Thanks again for following. We'll see you next time.